It was still scary because I was in a country where I didn't speak a language, I didn't know the culture, I was so new, I had no networks. And suddenly, when I decided that I'm going to quit my job, I had lost the financial security as well.
Now let's welcome our guest. Welcome to our
Thank you so
show.
much. Thank you so much. And I'm really, really pleased to be here. So thank you for inviting.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We are very happy that you are here, that you know our invitation.
Same here.
Yeah. So quick, we go into it right away. With your permission, of course.
Of course, go ahead.
So, how are you doing today, first of all?
Really good. It has been a good day, so has been enjoying it so far. How about you?
No, good. We are good. We are really
and
fine.
You look so beautiful.
Thank you. Likewise, I would say. All right. So, please, can you tell us about yourself, childhood, your education, your family?
Yeah, sure. So, hello everyone. My name is Priyanka Banerjee, and I'm a diversity and inclusion specialist, also an international speaker and the co-founder of BusinessWiz.
Wow.
And originally I'm from India, and I have a background as an engineer. I worked as an IT consultant for a lot of part of my life, and that's how I came to Finland. One of our clients were working, and one of our clients were Finnish, and that's how I came to work for them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And about my childhood, I grew up in a very small part of India, in the western part of India, in a state called Rajasthan, and in a very small city called Kota. Okay. So that's where I grew up. And Rajasthan is like a really, really beautiful place. So if you ever visit India, take note to go there.
All right.
But it's also, unfortunately, a very patriarchal part of the country as well.
Okay.
But I was really lucky to be born in a family who understood the importance of education equally for their son and their daughter. And so I think I was very privileged to get a quality education, which unfortunately was not the same for a lot of people in the society.
Wow.
So yeah, that's how I got an education. I did my engineering. I became an IT consultant, and that's how I came here, and then eventually started my own company. So It has been an interesting journey so far.
Yes, I would say that it's moving, your story. It's moving. So yeah, you already talked about your area of business actually, but tell us about your motivation. What motivates you to work or to be who you are, because you're a diversity and inclusion specialist. It's not easy to handle a handful of cultures and different nationalities. So
I will tell a bit about what we do. So BusinessWiz is actually helping businesses or companies understand diversity and become more diverse in the process, but also help them create a culture of inclusion in their organization. So my motivation came from my own experience working as a woman of color in tech, with this part of the world. And you can see that there is a lot that can be done to improve. So there I experienced microaggressions, but also I experienced a lot of things that we have normalized at workplace, that this is how it is, this is how it rolls. And I was like, no, we have to do something about it, because only when everybody feels respected and everybody can bring their best self to work, it's gonna be good for the company. They can be more productive, more innovative. So that was my motivation, but I didn't really know what am I going to do, to be really honest, because it was just that, okay, I have to do something about it. I need to do something of my own to gain that respect, to show all the talent that I have, and eventually slowly getting the clarity of what I want to do. And now I started this business.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
It's been a long road for you. Yeah.
For sure, it's still going. I'm still very new to this.
It's still a long road for you. So, oh yeah. So how about capital? Does it entail capital to start your business? Because it seems like you don't need to buy so many things.
Exactly.
But still, I know that some amount of finance is needed.
Yeah. I think in this kind of a business, because what I actually do is we have trainings and workshops and talks, coaching programs, but I also have more detailed implementation program. But I started small, like I started with only 1 or 2 services, and it did not require that much of capital. But of course, it was still scary because I was in a country where I didn't speak a language. I didn't know the culture. I was so new. I had no networks. And suddenly when I decided that I'm going to quit my job, I had lost the financial security as well. So it was scary in the very beginning, but also with the help of my family and my business partner, we managed to start the business. Yeah. Wow. But now we are looking for more funds and to develop new services and products. So it's also in the progress, I can say.
Wow, that's a struggle. But I try to think that it's really a struggle for cultures that are not European cultures to integrate in Europe. So if you don't have a partner or someone who's European, it's really a bigger challenge. I don't know if you agree.
Yeah, I think it's more about, that is also the topic I work with. Like, integration is sometimes taken as a word which is one-sided, but it's not one-sided, it is two-sided. So when you have to work with clients, they also need to respect you and your culture, or if you're an employee in a company, they need to also understand you and your culture the same way you have to understand them and their culture. And anyways, all the individuals are different. Even if we come from the same culture, we are different. So it's more about emotional intelligence and how to bring about. And I think I have, even in India, when I used to live, I grew up in a different part of the country from where my origins are. So I had to adapt to that culture as well. I think it's, I like to do that. I'm very curious and I like to learn about new things. And yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, myself included. I like to learn about new things and other cultures.
Yeah.
It's very good.
It's very interesting
also. And you grow in certain things that if you had no idea of.
That's true. Yeah. And you get a lot of different perspectives and different ideas. Actually, that's how innovation comes to a company, bringing different mindsets.
It allows you to open up to other people that maybe you were not allowing. You were creating a barrier around everything. So I think it's very good. Very, very good. So do you have feedback?
Yes.
From your customers, so people who use your services.
Yeah.
So how do you handle your feedback? Do you have positive, negative feedbacks?
Yeah.
How does that happen?
I think there has been both kind of feedbacks, positive and negative as well. One of the reason is because the topic is really new for Finland.
Oh, right.
And if you see the process of immigration is not very old in the history, and the importance and the understanding is still very low.
Yeah.
So the negative feedbacks are mostly like people need fast results. you know. And one training cannot change cultures, you know.
That's right.
It takes a lot of time and effort, so to and also action to be able to do that. And the other feedback, I think, which I have received, that it is really overwhelming, because you have so many details, you have so much, like you have to look at different personalities, you have to look at cultures, gender, age, sexual orientation, and people get like, oh my God, let's not dive into this, like it's too much for me to take. So I think I use them to improve my services. So I take it more positively, or like, you know, constructively. And taking these feedbacks, now I have developed a new service and a product which is including both of these two. So for example, how to bring results. So result comes only when you have a long-term commitment and implementation, but also like how to not be overwhelming for them. So what I do is we take a long period of time, but then we have small bite-sized action items for small time. So let's say for 1 month, you have to do one action. One action is done by the employees and for the leaders, and they repeat it. Then we measure it. So when you are repeating your actions, it's changing the culture, it's changing habits, and then you can actually see the results, and it's not overwhelming. So I think that's how I try to take those feedbacks and improve my services. About positive feedbacks, there are many, because it's also, some of them have told me that it's a very fresh perspective that they get. Listening to similar people, similar ideas can get boring at times. And like you said, you love knowing about different cultures. And so a lot of people are curious. And the curious people, they love to hear from different people, individuals, and the topic. And also because it is a business advantage for them. If you have good teams and good teamwork and team culture, it's good for your company to be more productive, to have more revenue, to have more innovation. That's true. Yeah,
I agree with that. Also, the one activity at a time, it's very good. It's very good. That's also a very good aspect that I can say I would love to do. But now we go to these customers again. Like, how do they know about you? How do customers get to you? How do you sell your services?
I think at the moment it has been building my personal brand. Because when I was starting to talk about this, there were not many people talking about this, and not many people looking like me talking about this, right? So it was also, you can say, an advantage in that way, because you are different. So when it brings challenges, but it also brings advantages together. And so I started speaking on stages, in events, so that people can see me, going to places where I can have my target audience, and attending all these events, so that they see that what I am doing. Because one other aspect I have found here is the trust level. You need to create that trust before you start working for them. And of course, it's like a human nature that when you have, different people, you don't know about them, they look different, they're from different cultures, you have this sudden barrier that, I don't know, this is risky. But then how can you get past that? Like by providing value, by letting them know what you speak about. So social media and speaking on different platforms, and reaching out to them and using my networks. I have now built a good network. I'm still on it, working on it every day, but I ask them to introduce me to someone who might be of interest of this topic, and just, like letting the word out in some way that people knows that there exist these kind of services here.
All right. Okay. That's challenging.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time and efforts. earlier it was like, okay, it's like it's how difficult it could be. When you start doing it, then it's like a lot of work and a lot of effort. But when your mission is very close to your heart, when you like to do what you're doing, it becomes very interesting.
I want to give you an applaud, but I want to applaud you. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Go girl. So now we go to advice. What can you tell us? Those of us aspiring to be entrepreneurs or are entrepreneurs, wanting to quit or thinking if we get here, this thing cannot work. So what can you tell us?
I think one of the most important thing is to have clarity and then to understand what your customers want. Because when I was starting, that is one of the challenges. I thought that, oh my God, I have so many ideas and I can help them with this and this and this and this. But I didn't have the clarity that what exactly is going to help them. So it helped me to keep asking my customers that what are their challenges, what problems they want to solve, because sometimes they even don't know that they want this service, you know. So just understanding that how is your work helping them and providing value. That is something is really important to first have that clarity, especially in this way when you're consulting, you're speaking about a topic, you need to be very crystal clear of what you're speaking, because if you're confused, you yourself don't know what you are selling. So I think that is something, and if some people, they are thinking that it's too difficult and they want to quit, I would say that just take a step back and think about and go to your customers and ask why it's not working, because there is something probably which is not solving their problem, or it's not providing them value, or then there is something else that we can do, like because as you said, the market is not easy for people, especially if you don't speak Finnish, and I don't. And it is how you position yourself that, hey, it's not about the language, it's about the value. The world is going global. In 10 years, Finland is not going to have enough talent to work for you. Show them the long term that what you are trying to provide it to them. So that I think is something, having the clarity and understand your customers.
Okay, something like understand your environment.
Exactly.
Something like that. So this is the end of our first section of today's talk. After the commercial break, we'll be back. Thank you.
Are you ready for significant growth? On Business Ray, learn step-by-step guide to starting a business, business sustainability, adaptability and risk countermeasure, community inclusion, marketing and profitability, thought leadership, innovation and creativity, wellness and technology, re-enable care, humanity and hospitality, education and engagement, identifying opportunities, networking and security, iCare conference. Watch live at radioglobal.com/tvray.